I don't think the fan theory lands that Hugh Jackman is playing the 97.
Yeah.
It was always like, oh, I want to connect these dots so badly. I'm looking for it. Like everyone that said it, they'd always be like that thing. It was always a leap.
Welcome back to the break room. What's next for Wolverine? It's the Lingering Question Show. Hit that graphic.
And there's a little game show intro that plays and goes, ring.
I know what's next for Wolverine. Band-Aids. I'm Brandon Barrick, and joining me today, his bones are currently 100% metal-free, I think. It's Coy Jandreau.
I actually don't have any plates or anything. That is as accurate as of now. 2024, metal-free.
You know, I just realized as I wrote that intro,
like, that could be
could have been in a traumatic car accident.
I've had many bones broken, but never had to metal plate them.
Never had the plates. Interesting.
Yeah. Ribs, they just leave. They just say to figure it out.
You ever broken a rib?
No, they just say like it'll heal or not. Like I have 2 ribs that go in a little.
I definitely cracked a rib.
They just leave you.
Yeah.
So otherwise it's surgery. Fun fact, audience.
Bye.
Don't break a rib.
Bye, ribs. And also joining the show today, he would always sit vigil bedside for Trish Tilby. It's Evan Yee.
Hey Trish, what are you doing after all this Prime Sentinel nonsense?
You hitting on Trish?
Moving on. So we got some questions, folks.
We have a lot of questions. We saw our penultimate episode of X-Men 97 Season 1. We've only got 1 episode left. We got a ton of questions, and some folks out there who watch the show, follow us on social media or on Twitch or wherever, they've sent in some questions, so we're going to go through them today. We got expert Coy Jandreau here. We got expert Evan Yee. We got mediocre knower me. And we're going to try and figure out all this stuff, okay? So let's hop into some of our questions. Our first question comes from Instagram. Nathan W980 asks, with the latest episode cliffhanger, who is the villain, Magneto or Bastion?
Yeah, I thought this was an interesting question because it's something we've talked about a little bit on the show, talked about in person as well, but going into this season, we thought like Sinister was going to be like the big bad.
Right.
Yeah.
It's really interesting to see that the big bad is not like a singular person.
Sure.
It's more of just like the world, right? Like mutants versus the world. And I don't know how important it is now for us to keep like, there's only 1 episode left.
Yeah.
Do we need like a singular villain? I don't know how
I think it's more realistic that life is like people doing what they think is right and also what serves them. So I like that Sinister isn't needing more than just to get at Jean and Scott. Like Scott and Jean are his only goal, so he allowed Bastion to get to that position of power, and he didn't care about the rest. So he's a villain, but I'm glad they're not trying to make it a singular villain because Bastion has served his purpose, and he got, in a way, what he wanted. It's not done yet, but that moment where he's like, it's so quiet was so striking because he could finally not hear every machine.
Oh, yeah.
So, like, he got what he wanted for a point, and if the mutants, like, you know, got decimated. So, he's not done, but he got a bit of what he wanted. And Magneto, like, was right. Humans have messed with him forever, and frankly, at this point, they're kind of due. So, even as a human being, I'm like, you know, maybe Magneto was right, and I think it's kind of deserved.
Sure, it's a little bit of overkill, certainly. Like, yeah, he has his reasons, but... you know, potentially dooming the Earth to everyone on it dying from...
He's got a little asteroid M. He's going to pop up, have a little vacay.
Yeah, but what about everyone on Earth? I mean, not everyone was a Prime Sentinel. Not, you know, it's tough. It's a little bit of overkill, certainly. But it is poignant that in this episode, right, it's not them banding together to fight Bastion.
Yeah.
It's literally them fighting each other.
Yeah.
Wolverine stabbing Magneto, Sunspot and Jubilee going against each other. Like... Rogue fighting members of her team like Cyclops. Like, it's very interesting to see that, like, with everything going on, they're still just fighting each other. And they can't put it aside. So, yeah, there are multiple villains, all on different timelines, right? Sinister is a long... his is a long game. He's like, I'm winning through evolution over a long period of time. Almost like Apocalypse, right? Who hasn't even shown up yet, but is always in the opening credits and it's kind of looming in the background. You know, Bastion was kind of playing a long game, but his is like very immediate. Like,
he knows what he wants, and he just appeared to do it. And like,
yeah,
he's been playing the long game, but he's only just made himself known.
Right. And then they can't get over their own disagreements on how to deal with.
Well, it's all ideologies, right?
Yeah.
So like, if you've got a core belief and someone else has the opposing core belief, that loyalty can only go so far. And that's why I think, you know, at the end of the day, we're not even talking about Xavier being right or wrong because he seems pretty wrong.
Yeah.
And that's our lead. That's Xavier. Like, he's the leader of the X-Men, and I'm like, but he kind of messed up.
Sure.
Yeah.
But I do think the X-Men, Magneto is their villain. You know what I mean? Like, that's where it started with Charles and Magnus.
But that's all ideology.
But I think that is the biggest villain of mutants and humanity right is ideology.
And that's why I think the Magneto element of the character, even if he evolves some, he keeps being proven right in his own ideology. Yeah. Like, no matter how much he tried to lead the X-Men, how much more can that man change? And not be like, well, these humans keep messing up. So I don't know.
We think he was leading them earnestly, but could he have been like letting
planting seeds,
letting things happen? I'm still speechless about how he survives, but Leech is gone.
Yeah,
you know, he still made it out of there. I don't know.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, because like it was around all of them. You know, at least one other person would have survived.
I guess you're saying he's strong enough to withstand whatever blast vaporizes the eyeballs of Leech. I don't know.
Yeah.
I mean, like, and even the Storm thing, it's like, did he allow Storm to take that shot?
Yeah.
You know, whether he knew the consequences of it or not, he was like, well, I can use this moment
to leverage.
Yeah. So I don't know.
He's not a great guy.
Yeah, I love a villainous Magneto who's like, you know, cosplaying as a good guy every now and then.
And his ideals aren't all evil.
Right. Because his ideals are like mutant. It's not coexistence. It is just mutants. And he's like, we are the future, and we should wipe out humans, and that's not right. That's not right.
It's not right.
As a simple human, that's not right. I deserve my place in the sun. I buy your comics, mutants. Let me live.
Oh, that's right. They all have the comics.
Let me live.
Okay. IL220 on YouTube asking, I wonder if Rogue and Roberto are going to stay with Magneto after seeing him rip the adamantium out of Wolverine. A lot of kind of Wolverine questions here. There's a popular discussion point, like I'm a Disney fan on Instagram, asking, will X-Men 97 connect Deadpool and Wolverine, or is Logan from X-Men 97 the same in Deadpool and Wolverine? I think we've talked about this before, but we can talk about it again with kind of the more, you know, the state that Wolverine's in now. So let's break it into parts. Like, what do you guys think? Like, who stays with Magneto after all of this? Do you think that, like, everybody is now going to be like, you know what, Team Magneto, like, this is the thing? Or do you think that thgoing to try to rally behind?
I think Cyclops leaves. I think Cyclops is no longer part of either side. I think we're going to get like a Cyclops is right arc. He's going to radicalize.
Restarts his own team.
Well, yeah, he kind of just sees that Magneto had a point, and he doesn't want to side with Magneto, but he sees like you know the violence of it. So I think we got a Cyclops is right moment. I think Wolverine is feral and is off in the woods.
Feral.
I think feral, like, you know, just like no, in the comics he had no nose. It was a dark choice, but like he's just out. Yeah, so I think he's like out and figuring his life out. I don't think the fan theory lands that Hugh Jackman is playing the 97.
It
was always like, oh, I want to connect these dots so badly, I'm looking for it. Like everyone that said it, that always like that thing that it was always a leap.
Yeah, I think it's impressive that they're gonna do what they're gonna do in Deadpool and Wolverine, the movie, even linking to the TVA. I think that probably took a lot of coordination, making it all work out, making sure it all plays out. I think that movie is gonna set up a lot of this kind of end of the multiverse saga that we'll see in these next Avenger movies and stuff. But I think coordinating with this animated show, knowing how hard it is, they didn't know when the show was going to come out. You know what I mean? Like, Marvel's had a hard time with animation, like meeting their deadlines and
Deadpool's moved 3 times.
Yeah, so it's like I think that's not going to let up coordination. Anyway.
Yeah. And I think they learned from the pandemic to not schedule things that are time sensitive to coordinate, because how many things moved?
Yeah.
Right.
Oh, God.
But I would like to see, you know, I don't know what's going to be undone in this next episode, where characters will be at, but I would love to see this season 1 kind of end with like house divided. You know,
I think it ends.
Some people are with Magnus. Some people. I think Charles maybe just leaves again and is like, you know what, fuck this, I'm going
back to the
gym. I was a happy husband.
I want my legs back.
I can stand and dance with my wife.
Yeah, we had a garden. It was beautiful.
Yeah,
I think it ends either setting up or the last beat is Onslaught. Yeah. I think Magneto and Xavier's ideologies. It's not going to matter. I think it's going to be
too soon for Onslaught.
I mean, technically it's season 6, right?
Right, but if you're saying the moment he was created is in this last episode when Charles goes into his mind, or is it back in season 1 where he made him like remember?
I think it's going to be a long.
They're going to say it's always been there,
and it's been culminating, and now.
And the second dose kind of like wakes him up.
And like think about it, Magneto's body might be dying.
Yeah,
there's a lot of like energy. He's wearing the helmet.
Yeah. Because Onslaught, that was like a multi-comic arc. And it, famously, like, I forget the writer's name who came up with Onslaught, but it was like, I like the name. I didn't know I was going to do it.
I didn't know it was changing everything.
Yeah. He was like, I'll think of it later. But, like, it kind of took a minute for the X-Men and Onslaught to really kick off. So I don't know if it's too soon. But I do like how this show has taken multiple story arcs from the 90s and, like, kind of wove them in new ways. played them out differently. So that has been fun and kind of mashed storylines together.
Yeah.
So yeah, they could bring it on.
Fatal Attraction, I did not expect to jump in after a fake out of Operation Zero Tolerance.
Right.
And all of that during like E is for Extinction. Like this thing is momentous.
It's really meant.
The helmet might be a mislead, but I also like that'd be crazy.
The helmet on Charles is
but the season 1, season 2 already being done. That's why I think it is.
Yeah.
It's because you have a cliffhanger opportunity, you have to take it.
Yeah.
So it has to end on a cliffhanger because they've already had the second season done. So like use that opportunity. So I think it's
Is there Onslaught just shows up and just like annihilates Bastion?
I think
I'm your problem now.
Yeah, and then the whole second season is how you take out Onslaught, and then you do all the like Avengers cameos.
You can bring them in, because that was a big crossover.
They sacrificed themselves. Everyone but Spider-Man and Hulk.
Yeah.
No, Hulk dies too. Everything. It's like Spider-Man and 3 other characters. They're gone. Because then Heroes Reborn, their return is a whole thing.
Well, I guess about like talking about the comics, like Wolverine getting the adamantium ripped out of his, his body, I guess, or off of his skeleton. How does that play out in the comics? And then where do you guys think this show is going to go?
So in the comics, he basically, like it does in the show, the last 20 seconds are straight from the comics. Even freeze frames in the shot of the comic. Yeah. But basically that breaks something in Wolverine and he goes completely feral. His mind regresses. He wears like a little ninja headband. He like lives in the woods. For some reason he doesn't have a nose. And I hate the bone claws. And I've been saying it everywhere.
So weak.
It doesn't make sense fundamentally if the idea of Wolverine is that you turn someone that heals into a weapon. And you have the opportunity to turn something into a weapon. Why wouldn't it make sense to implant something that can heal with a mechanized thing that is knives? Instead, it's like he's got normal human physiology, but also bone claws. Like frogs have claws, but humans, like, I get he's a mutant, but why wouldn't it be knives that they added as a weapon? He's a weapon. You put knives there.
He's a weapon.
It just, they added that 35 years into his history, and it was such a silly choice. Like, Wolverine's had bone claws less time than he didn't have them. Go back to no bone claws. It is my canon that is the preposterous idea.
This is your Han shot first.
Yeah, this is 100%. I've been bothered by this for 15 years.
The bone claws are a little
It doesn't make any
weird.
sense, just like logically.
I mean, it kind of gets Toby's tubes, getting into Spider-Man, making Spider-Man have like web come out of him.
Yeah.
It's like, oh, that's smart movie writing, but when you really start thinking,
you're like, why would it come out of there?
It comes out of there, so he's got like what?
And where is what?
What?
He's already got holes.
Yeah, that would be where the spiders come out from. It doesn't make sense.
Yeah.
So really I don't know. Bone claws also
bone
like
claws are strange.
What are bone claws gonna do to offensively?
Yeah,
just a little like, oh, that's just gross.
Nasty.
I'm grossed out.
So do you think?
But he goes feral, and then like he gets the adamantium back eventually through
He's feral for a while.
Through Apocalypse. Yeah, it takes a few. I think in real time it was like a few years.
Yeah.
Oh. Wow.
And didn't they like kind of like bring him back? They started another Wolverine run, and then they kind of told it through like this is how he got his adamantium back. He became one of like the Four Horsemen.
Right.
Yep.
I don't think they're gonna do that. Because they already did Four Horsemen
in the old show.
In the old show, though, that's like Apocalypse's whole thing.
That is also a way to bring.
Gotta have my Four Horsemen.
That's how you bring Gambit back.
Yeah.
Oh, that's
Gambit's Horseman of Death, and then
right.
But then so is Wolverine in that specific instance.
In that instance, but they can. I don't think they'll translate. I think they'll.
Sure, they'll just move some people around.
Because they've done this whole season.
And Archangel just comes back. He's like, you know what? I want another ride.
He goes back.
I really like these metal wings.
He's no longer blue. Like he gets to.
I like when the missile shot out of my wings. Yeah, that was fun.
But yeah, I think that answers your question. I think Wolverine, has to figure. It's also interesting as he's figuring who he is out. Like it's a walkabout arc, and it's really cool to see Wolverine like try to figure out what his humanity is because he doesn't remember. Because he had all that brainwashing. So it's a cool arc for him. I don't know if it's worth a whole season.
No.
So we'll see how long they do it.
I mean, I do think too, like no matter where this season ends, and we can maybe get into some of this a little bit later because I think some viewers have questions about it, but like if it is like a time loop reset or something, if they're gonna do some type of multiverse or time thing, or if it is just gonna like be like, hey, we've committed, this is what's gonna happen. I do like that it's going to end with a kind of like fractured group, right? We saw the group so unified in the
Gold and
beginning.
blue.
Oh yeah,
they call it out.
True. Yeah.
And like literally, I think it's gonna end like Empire. Like this is not gonna have a happy ending. I don't think this writing team would want time travel.
No.
Like everyone's been saying that from the beginning, but like they've been messing these characters up. They've been like this thing's end sad and angry, like the world.
Yeah.
You don't think it'll end with like, in a very Looney Tunes-esque way with them like the 2D characters coming off the page in like a three-dimensional room?
Watching.
Yeah.
I mean, that's what Beast looked like in Captain Marvel to me. So sure did look like a 2D character in a 3D world. I know a lot of people love that, but man, that was some rough CGI.
And to put a cap on like the link between this Wolverine and Deadpool and Wolverine, I do think the best like hope that we would get, if you do want them to be connected at all, is that, Deadpool and Wolverine, they're probably jumping through multiverses. They'll just appear.
Yeah.
In animated form, they'll show up at Genosha and be like, oh, we want out of this one, and then jumping out again, I think something like that is probably...
There was 4 frames of animation in the Multiverse of Madness. And I remember it I thought we were going to get it then. And I think we might actually get it now, which I think Deadpool Wolverine is going to be a lot of that, of we might actually get it now.
Yes. Or Across the Spider-Verse, going to the Lego thing too, But we already, now they're establishing an animated universe, so it's getting stronger.
I think it'd be great if they did that.
Happen. Okay. Kind of...
Wolverine's too tall for the world.
Yeah. Kind of pivoting away from that, I want to get you guys' thoughts on this. Eliza JV98 on YouTube asking, can Nightcrawler bamf to go anywhere, or does he have to see his destination before he does that? And to that point, Kevin Z3905 saying, where was Nightcrawler during the final battles of the episode? It was mentioned earlier that he was going to transport all the X-Men to Muir Island, but was he just exhausted?
He was on the space station. He's on Asteroid M, bamfing around.
Okay, yeah.
And then he was probably like, "Oh, this is gross." I know. In the comics, it's always tough. They've done so much power stuff in the comics. The movies, right? In X2, there's a good line of dialogue where, he's like, "I can't." Teleport somewhere I haven't seen, because I could teleport into something, blah, blah, blah. And I think his powers pretty much work like that. If he's aware of the space, if he's been there before, he's like, I know what to do.
I know spatially
so
in 3D.
He's gone to Muir Island before. Now, I don't know. I guess I didn't know if he has to, do a series of jumps.
I think
he
there
could
is a
just, go to the other side of the world. If he's like, I really know where this is. I'm really sure about it.
I know it's calorically draining, so I think there is a distance thing. Otherwise, that's an OP. That's way too powerful. So I think there is
lots of pasta.
Yeah, as he's bamfing.
Yeah, but
I know that's
a little bit gluten intolerant.
Yeah, if he had
I'm bloated.
Yeah. If he had a webcam looking at a place that was far away,
that only I would do it for.
But he could look and see okay, I know I can go right there. And I think. But
I love your 2D image would be and I'm fine.
Now here's the thing. Here's a question for Nightcrawler that I'm asking right now.
Mm-hmm.
The planet Earth is moving through space. Right.
Does he adjust for the...
Now, he knows where... He's like, I know where my bedroom is in my apartment, right? But he knew where his bedroom was in his apartment,
12 hours ago.
Yeah. And now Earth is further along in space.
Yeah.
Would he just appear... This was my question.
This is why I think he needs out of sight.
This is the blip... the snap and the blip, right? How do they not just blip into the spot in space where they disappeared, and Earth is way over here now?
I always think of the people flying.
Well, yeah, that was mine too.
That's so scary. And so Nightcrawler had the same problem.
Yeah. Or
that's
imagine
why I think
you're in the middle of surgery.
Oh.
Right? You come back and you're just like, my God.
Guts open. They're just dead. That's it.
Yeah.
I think bamfing is line of sight, and then distance-wise, he has to, or he went in multiple bamf. So
how did he get him to Muir Island? You think he was going over the ocean? Just don't look down, don't look down.
Oh, maybe, right? Just...
That's a fair question.
Because if you could just teleport anywhere because you knew the space, that was Jumper, right? Jumper was I've been there before and I could do it. You just have to remember a space, 100 feet above the middle of the Pacific Ocean. You can just dump anyone there whenever you want.
That should have been a franchise.
Well, it
should have been a franchise.
It really is.
I loved Jumper.
Huh? Oh yeah.
Sorry, that was. No, do it again. Okay, we'll do it again. Well, in Dungeons and Dragons,
correct read.
The teleport spell.
Okay.
Basically, there's a bunch of chances that you can do. You roll a die to determine how well you can teleport to an area.
Got it.
And so there's different factors if you're holding an object that's from that location, or do you know this location inherently well? Okay.
Got it.
There could be some link to that, a mental, instead of seeing if there's a physical link or something, or Charles being oh hey, I got this book from your island, and be oh yeah, let's do it. That's in D&D rules, that's enough.
Okay. Is Dungeons and Dragons on Earth?
No, it's in its own
a different planet.
Yeah.
Okay, cool.
Yeah, its own realm.
Cool.
Okay, moving through some of the last pre-collected questions. Just want to talk about the future really quick.
Okay.
Angelo Swash 6638 bringing up an interesting point that in the future we saw Polaris was maybe not. They said fixing Earth's magnetic field, but you could see her kind of doing something with
and there were
field.
Sentinels up there with her, right?
Yeah.
Watching her.
And also, what's the deal with Antonio May saying, I'm confused on the Prime Sentinels. Are they dead or alive, right? This whole EMP thing, we're not quite
sure. It seems like they're frozen, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, kind of in a... Or
but then
otherwise,
his mom looked dead.
Mom looked dead.
But Beast is Trish.
Beast is with Trish Toby. But they didn't kill. Did they kill the mom? Or they fought the mom, but they didn't like kill her.
She like morphed in her body.
Right.
Like I don't know. I might have just
maybe it's like how long have you been infected by the?
Also, the way her body contorted, that might have been what killed her.
Oh,
as opposed to other crimes.
Without the thing being.
And maybe she wasn't dead. He was just crying because it's like she's dead. You know, he's like, I have no way of restarting her.
Because if everybody's dead, then that makes the stakes too low. Because they're already dead.
Yeah, Eric brought up a good point that like these things can like you slice them and the parts come apart and they can reattach their parts. Yeah. Now you're saying you can turn that back into a person?
Do you just have little scars? Where
you have scars everywhere, or just like you have right where you can turn back into a person, you have like a half hour of immense pain.
But then you're back to life. That was worth it.
Yeah.
Then you're back. And then I guess we have to assume some people did not voluntarily.
Some people
just got
kidnapped,
infected.
Primed.
I guess. Because some of those protesters, right, who changed and some didn't. Yeah. You would think they'd be able to get all those protesters to voluntarily dip.
Oh yeah.
Yeah,
you know what I mean? Or if not, just infect those people.
And then what are they gonna do? They're already committed.
Yeah. It just seems rude to infect an innocent person like Trish Tilby.
You know that Bastion,
loves the cat
known for his rudeness.
Yeah,
that Bastion,
he's a real
bit of a
rude
scallywag.
He's a real rude, lewd sack of chewed food dude.
Who loves to play with goo.
How dare you, Evan?
Again, Evan.
I was quoting Hook. How dare you?
Oh, were you?
Yeah.
Oh, that's good.
Also both of us. Okay. Brandon, you want to take Marvel Move and then I'll do
Oh, baby. Before we get to the rest of the video today, we want to thank some of our sponsors, including Marvel Move. Marvel Move is an immersive fitness app with audio that lets you feel like you're running, walking, or jogging through your very own MCU film. I've been using it myself. I'm a couch potato. Delicious. But I was like, you know what? I bet I could beat Zach at a 5K, and I probably won't. But I've been using Marvel Move to help me get ready for a 5K. Are we doing a 5K? Is that gonna happen?
I think so. Yeah, Zach keeps talking about it.
Oh, that's great.
He's like, I got little markers. I
don't want to race at the same time as him because he cheats. We need to do it by time. I want to start. I want to head start.
He just bamps his way through.
Listen, I've played a lot of board games with Zach. He's a known cheater. Been busted several times at Settlers of Catan. Okay.
Is he like a racer who's gonna throw you into a bush?
I think so.
Like drifting.
The moment we're around a corner and no one can see us, he's gonna do something. He's gonna do something dangerous. If you're entirely new to running and need a little structure and guidance, and you gotta beat Zach Huddleston in a 5K, your Marvel Move subscription includes Thor and Loki's 5K training, an 8-week-long program that will train you to run your first 5K with 12 hours of audio drama. Plus, you'll get new workouts weekly with stories from A-list writers like Teenie Howard and Jerry Duggan. Plus, more series and new characters arriving in 2024. Lots of pluses in those. It's a real fun app. I've enjoyed it. You can play your normal music and it just cuts in. There's little things you could do. It can tell you to run faster so you can escape the Sentinel. It's interesting. And they also have they're just promoting the Marvel side. They also have a zombie side of it too, where you're a runner for a zombie compound. You got to go out and get supplies. It's kind of fun.
That's awesome.
It gives you a little extra if you need so much motivation like me and you get so bored constantly. Download the ZRX app on iPhone and Android to try Marvel Move for 1 week for free. When you're ready to dive in, head to zrx.app/newrockstars and use coupon code NEWROCKSTARS at checkout for 50% off your first order. We also want to thank Mando for sponsoring today's show, especially their Lume full body deodorant. Lume's been popular for a while now, which is why Mando is rolling out Lume for Men. It's the same clinically proven doctor-developed formula, but in cologne quality scents for men like Bourbon Leather, Pro Sport, and Mount Fuji. When I'm at the office now and they're like, Brandon, you reek of bourbon, I'm like, this is my deodorant. Hey, what are you giving me a hard time for? I need a nap.
Someone in the chat was saying, in the episode, Storm goes up to Forge and Beast, and she's like, impress me. They were asking, oh, do you guys do that at the office now? You just walk around and say, impress me.
Impress me.
And that's what I say to Zach every time I see him, and he makes me smell his armpit, and it doesn't smell
he does make us smell his armpit, and thank goodness he smells great because he's wearing Mando. They've been sponsoring the show, and Zach loves it. We've all tried it. It's really good stuff. Long lasting. It's made with mandelic acid, an alpha hydroxy acid that blocks the sweat-eating bacteria on your skin from causing odor, so you don't even smell in the first place.
Whoa!
And you can put it anywhere. As a special offer for our listeners, new customers get a $5 off a Mando starter pack with code BREAKROOM at shopmando.com. That equates to over 40% off your starter pack when you visit shopmando.com and use code BREAKROOM. The cops are here. I'm in trouble. We also want to remind you to check out nerdriot.shop. We've got tons of great X-Men inspired designs on there right now, like our Gambit Remember It shirt. And we have our Deadpool and Wolverine shirts.
We also have the Star Wars,
we also have Star Wars, May the 4th stuff.
Ewoks.
That's a Buc-ee's logo. You're familiar with Buc-ee's.
I am. It's a trap. It's great. That's
there's Breakroom merch on there. It's a great way to support the channel, folks. Check out the merch options. There's lots of stuff on there. We got old school stuff on there. Whatever you want. Whatever you want. Just call us. Check it all out over at nerdriot.shop.
All right, let's get into some Twitch questions, which
Twitch.
there are a lot. And Coy's got to see the new Planet of the Apes movie in 30 minutes.
Oh,
yes.
So we're going to tear through these questions.
Apes together
Kingdom
strong.
of the Planet of the Apes. Hey, Coy, did you know that apes will learn? I will learn.
Do you feel better after you've seen it now that you know that line's context?
I haven't seen it yet.
Oh no!
I love that line though.
I'm very
it's
excited
great.
for it.
It's
Cinema.
Really, it's really good delivery of the line.
Gets me every time.
Every
See
time.
it. Very excited.
Spidey Sense 72 asking, was that enough of a puncture wound to kill Magneto?
No. I think like Magneto's a strong dude. He survived a lot. I mean, this is a guy in season 3 or whatever, the Sanctuary arc with Asteroid M from the original run of this show. He like disappears, right? And then like reappears with the healing of the Earth's magnetic force. So it's like this dude is strong. I don't think a single puncture would have done it though. Knowing Wolverine.
But Wolverine is like, he's
He
the
hits
best
the
at
right
what
spot.
he does.
They show the wound. It's kind of here, right?
Yeah.
So he got lungs. You don't think he got heart because I think it was like on this side.
Yeah, I think
the heart's
he
like
would
center.
be. Maybe he's just trying to slow him down.
I
don't
think
think
so
Wolverine's
too,
trying to kill
right?
him.
Because remember, Wolverine is like he basically admits like you're the brave one, here.
Right.
I had to do this because I'm the only one that could put you down, but like you had to be stopped.
Yeah, I don't think he was trying to kill him. I think he was trying to take him out.
Yeah, he was trying to stop.
I think if Wolverine wanted to kill him, he could kill him.
Yeah.
But I don't think he wanted to kill
Because if it's Wolverine, right, you would just his head right.
He's the best there is.
Unless
to do that.
Magneto's just like moving the claws ever so slightly. It's like, your claw missed me by 1 millimeter.
Yeah.
That is soap opera logic. That is possible.
Yeah. But it's like you can't deny the plot armor, baby. Like Magneto's a tough dude to kill.
That dude Toxic asking, Beast was describing Bishop's time traveling device to Roberto in episode 1. Do you guys think it might make a return or not? I think Bishop will return.
Yeah.
I personally think last episode, they're going to reset it. They're going to reset it all, and I think they're going to do it in a way that I'm going to love and everyone else
It's gonna hate.
not going to love.
I
Evan,
do not want to run this back.
Not bring that bad juju on us.
They can do that at the end of this series, but not yet. Not yet. Or do it like halfway through the 3rd season or something.
This show has been so dark and sad. I do not think they're gonna go like, oh, we got new writers at the end who love puppies.
But do you think they just don't bring back Gambit?
I think
Or
Gambit
you
stays there
find
till
him
season
away?
2.
Okay. I'm fine with that.
I say this because I really think that they're gonna be like, listen, it's very much like the Genosha thing where Cable is like, I try and I can't stop it, and so something is gonna happen where they're like, listen, you can't stop all of this, but you gotta go back. You gotta go like way back, yeah. And I don't know. I think
The Renaissance?
1602.
1602.
The
It's a
burning of the
one-off.
libraries at
This whole
Alexandria?
time has been a one-off crossover.
Yeah. So
I think they stayed dead.
I don't know.
I think it ends pretty sad.
I think they're like, everything happens this way. Everything won't happen except Genosha is a fixed point in time. That will happen, but it won't happen in this way. And
I think
I don't know.
Bishop, you gotta remember, Bishop was wearing a time travel device that Beast was working on.
Right.
Beast has not been doing
Science hasn't been
well.
up to snuff.
He told
distracted.
Storm, your pals will never come back. They're back in like a week.
Forge got that settled quick.
Yeah, he's built a lot of Blackbirds. That's for
Yes,
sure.
which we
They do
appreciate.
blow up a lot. It's not really his fault. I won't
No,
blame him for that.
situational.
One. But yeah, he keeps kind of screwing up all over the place. And
I don't know if I trust
Bishop
these.
trusts a guy from the past to work on his future tech device. I don't know. It's a little risky.
know.
And now we know that they got separated in the time stream.
Yeah, it clearly wasn't working
It
great. Didn't
work.
protect.
Fucked it up.
Do you think Bishop got to the time portal as soon as he threw? He's like, yeah, fuck this baby. I don't want
Done
no
with it.
baby. I don't want
Raise
no
yourself,
bastard
kid. It's on you.
This creepy little clone baby from this freak Scott
I hope we get
Summers.
an
His mom
episode-
tried to kill me. Mom tried to kill
Yeah,
me.
not
Fuck this
long
baby,
ago.
dude.
Yeah.
I want an episode where we see the kid try. He gets thrown back in time, like so he's in like the 1980s, and he's watching TV, and someone comes in and they're like, "What's that?" And the kid's first words he hears is "Cable," and it's like the Han Solo movie, and that's where his name comes from.
No, the baby showed up in the future like, this is the future. We give everyone future names. This is Cable.
I just want my Han Solo
hard
moment.
drive.
I want the Han Solo moment so bad. Where does Cable's name come from? This is what I think about.
Oh, that's incredible. Anne Marie C 1016 saying Professor X is kind of terrible. Do you think?
Agreed. Co-signed.
Do you think people who have just watched the movies have a soft spot for Professor X because Patrick Stewart is awesome?
Yes.
And McAvoy.
Comics.
Yeah, I think they both do. They do them really well.
Comics. Professor X
kind of
is
a
a
dick.
maniac and like constantly going nuts.
Lashing out at people, bad
big,
teacher.
Crazy dude. Granted, they've been writing it for like over 50 years.
Yeah,
but
I mean,
like,
you got to make him versatile. But
like Patrick Stewart as Magneto or as Professor X, like really shaped him as like this all-knowing. Even in like the animated series original, there are episodes where Magneto's crazy. Or Professor X is
nuts.
crazy.
He's
crazy.
doing
and McAvoy plays him a little crazy.
Yeah.
McAvoy's got little shades of crazy coming. I think McAvoy had like a 10-year plan, and that got cut short. I think he had a real goal.
Yeah.
Because he wanted the next X-Men movie to be like a romance movie. He wanted to do like a love story for Charles.
Him and Rose Byrne.
Yeah.
Taggart.
Like that was the idea, and I think that would have been great to get to a future. And maybe losing Moira and becoming like vengeful, and then we could see the onslaught.
They should have done the shameless version of Professor X. That would have been great.
William H. Macy as Professor X.
Yeah, and this Xavier, I mean, I was so disappointed in this guy. Showing back up to Earth, calling all the X-Men, going to sleep, waking up the next day and being like, what's the plan, fellas?
Yeah.
And it's like,
I'm back.
You came back with no plan. And you're like, I'm going to talk to the president of his brain, and then I'm going to talk to Magneto. And they're like, They just had
every 5 years.
genocide on Genosha. This is not going to work, Charles. And he's like, hear me out. I've been gone a year. I'm going to fix everything. And they're like, you're messing everything up. What are you doing?
You know what I do? I talk to people, and they listen sometimes. So let me talk to Magneto.
Yeah.
We're old chums.
I know I've tried this every season, but this time
It's gonna go different.
Yeah. And hey, if you don't believe in me, believe in the X-Men.
And they're
just
like,
blame those guys.
They're like, why did you put Magneto in charge? And he was like, I don't know. I thought it was a good idea. I thought you'd want to retire.
He literally says like, it seemed like you wanted her as a kid, and he was available.
Yeah.
And then, I mean, like, Jay brought it up on the after show yesterday, but like, just Cyclops being like, but I always would end up back here. It's like, yeah. Because
there's a handful of mutants in the world that are trained to deal with issues. And
A tactical genius like Cyclops, perhaps
is one of them. And Jean Grey, Omega level telepath, a better telepath than Charles Xavier, they were going to retire. Okay.
There's an alternate timeline where Cyclops is just like, sitting on his front porch listening to the radio, and he just whispers, he's like waiting for the news to come on, and he just goes, give me the forecast.
Boo. No, he's on the porch, he's listening, they're like 16 million mutants were killed in Genosha today, and he's like, shame, I'm retired. Someone ought to do something about that.
He's pulling a Captain America. And
he's just like, I'm a Peggy.
Yeah.
Figure it out. Don't worry about me.
Consider the Cosmos X asking, do you think season 2 will shed light on the possibility that Morph isn't about the whole mind game aspect, and Bastion calling him out will mean more later?
The mind game?
I think it's a very specific question. I think we can like zoom out though. Do you think it's interesting to see who they've chosen to focus on this season?
Yeah.
They've kind of given everyone like equal time. Morph, they've been in the background a little bit.
I think Morph, Wolverine, and Beast.
Yeah.
Kind of less of their stories, right?
I feel like Wolverine and Beast have gotten the most in pop culture, so it felt very tactical. It's like, let's make this a team show. We can pull these guys back because everybody already likes them.
Yeah.
So Morph, I feel like, is the most shortchanged.
Yeah. So it'll be interesting to see if they spend more time with them moving forward, as well as like Morph is being kind of treated as like almost like the cameo machine this season. Nice to see, but also it's like it'd be nice to get to know the character
Take
more.
form of cameo. Take form of, but it works. It's just
It works.
I think there were some interesting seeds sown with the return of Sinister, right?
Yes.
And it's really freaking Morph out.
Yeah, that was a moment.
I think that could come back again in an interesting way. Of like, this isn't working for me either.
Yeah.
Maybe I go back to Sinister. I don't know. Like,
Yeah.
maybe because I think Morph is just like, they're the ones who don't want to deal with it. They're the comic relief for both the audience, but also they're the ones that aren't taking things as seriously as everyone else.
In moment, yeah.
And they love to joke and like take the form of a pregnant woman and just be weird and like
the dead boss.
and
according to all
like
them.
tease Gambit about his girl getting banged out by Magneto. Like, this is what Morph is all about.
Yeah, that's
the only one that deserves to die. The one that is just pulling at every string. He's doing okay.
Yeah.
Oh man.
Kobe-Wan Kenobi asking, do you think now that both Madeline and Jean are supposedly dead?
Yes.
Which I kind of take issue with because I don't think Jean's dead.
Here we go.
But
I don't think Jean's dead.
I'll fight you right now.
You think Jean's dead?
Yeah.
I don't think she's dead. she's dead. I think she just
We never saw the body.
Yeah, she got
Comics,
knocked
you
out.
gotta see the body.
That's why Cyclops is like, we need
was
more.
such a
They
rapid
need
cut.
more time because he wouldn't believe. If Jean were to die, I don't think he'd
Finish
take it
your
out
question.
Anyway,
then I will tear you down.
The question is, do you think their consciousness could come together to revive the Phoenix or to revive as a Phoenix if they're both dead?
Oh.
We talk a lot about the Phoenix. You guys
I talked about it yesterday. My theory is that like Jean Grey in the original series was Phoenix twice.
Right.
Was Phoenix and then Dark Phoenix.
Yeah.
I think the body switch happened so that Jean Grey was the first Phoenix and then Madeline Pryor was Dark Phoenix.
Okay.
And the Phoenix is gone. And now that both of them are dead, the Phoenix is like that. You had to kill both of them to reactivate the
Interesting.
Phoenix. And then they will be the three minds will be one. And then the resolution of that will be separating the bodies again. And you'll have Madeline. I don't think they'll get rid of Madeline. I think you let Madeline.
She's been mentioned every episode.
Yeah.
I feel so bad for Jean.
Right.
Every time someone sees Jean, someone's like, Madeline. She's like, what do you want from me?
Scott's even like,
Even Nightcrawler. He said it. Even Nightcrawler's like, welcome back, Jean. So Madeline.
I'm actually really glad that they mentioned her, even though I do feel for Jean every time. It's just like, wow, this is like, you could have easily just been like, well, that was funny that happened.
Yeah.
Moving on. The fact they spend so much time with the this character just casts a large shadow over the whole group, which I think is great. Anyways,
and it adds a lot to Cable too. To be like, you're my dad, you're not my mom, but you and my mom are the same.
And that inner conflict of him,
Anyways, no, someone was saying, didn't we see the body? And
we didn't see the body.
I don't think we saw the body.
I thought they confirmed that she was dead,
Scott.
though, right?
Who confirmed?
I thought they said it in the next episode. I don't know.
The next episode's next week?
No. After the attack on Genosha, I thought they said the next
Madeline's
episode
dead.
Oh, Madeline.
Oh,
yes.
Madeline.
But I don't think Jean is dead.
Oh,
yeah.
I think she got wiped out.
All right.
Or like did a Obi-Wan Kenobi where she's like succumbing to the Phoenix. She knew the Phoenix was inside of her, and she was
I definitely think the Phoenix is coming in the next episode. I don't know if that's at the cost of Jean's body.
Like, we didn't see it, but Cable goes over and her clothes are on the ground and just kicks him to the side, and she's not there. There's no
Phoenix.
body.
Yeah.
And he's like,
it's just ashes.
I've been screwed.
It's ashes because she's a Phoenix.
It's ashes, feathers, and bird shit.
Yeah. Mom.
Yeah, 95% of the chat saying Jean Grey is not dead. 5% saying yes. Okay. Questions. Let's see. Revenge the Mook asking, how is Morph able to use the Juggernaut powers of Juggernaut if Juggernaut is not a mutant and gets his powers from magic? I think it's interesting. Well,
so Morph is able to change their
physical.
Visage,
It's physical.
but they can change their chemical structure. Like they can make their muscles more dense.
Right.
So they're able to have like strength. So when he's aping Juggernaut, he's just making himself a strong boy.
Big boy.
Yeah.
But they're probably not as strong as Juggernaut.
They're probably stoppable.
because the Juggernaut has the crystal Sidorak or whatever.
Right.
Yeah.
I would say they're stoppable.
There's a limit to what
unstoppable.
Morph can charge. So when Morph becomes Hulk, they're not the Hulk. They don't have like unlimited rage.
Right.
Blah blah blah.
They're probably
but they're very
more-
strong.
Yeah.
And they're like, I'm pretty strong. It's like if you're this started happening at Comic-Con. If you're like a sexy dude with a great body, you're just Wolverine.
Yep.
Man. You're
Good for
shirtless
you.
Wolverine walking around.
Just carry claws. Enjoy your life.
Put on a couple pieces of aluminum foil on your hands, and you're sexy Wolverine.
At most a
walking
tank
around.
top. The rest,
Yeah.
live your life.
Once fitness people figured out a cosplay, they were like,
They're like, I'm
in,
about this.
baby.
I can do this
I'm
in public?
baby. Yeah. I'm in, baby.
TikTokers. It's a whole market.
Which is fine.
I mean, do you? Happy for you.
Everyone do you.
I think we talked about people being good and human sentinels and if they can be saved or not.
Casual sentence.
Slipping them the goo.
Slipping in the goo.
Slipping in the goo.
Little pre-goo.
Rolling in the
Festive Wise asking, why didn't Madeline have an OB or birth plan? Why did they have some sort of hospital room that they could contain Jean/Madeline? Why didn't they have?
I love this question.
I mean, Eric did bring this up, right?
Why didn't they have a
Madeline
birth-
goes into labor and they go to a hospital, and the doctor's like, "I'm not doing this," and it's like, who was?
You know
the
what
doctor?
hospital you have to go to.
And then we assume again, Beast was probably like the OBGYN,
Right.
right? And
Was he
like,
not there? He was
He
home.
was.
When
I was like, he was in jail, but no, that's the original series.
Because
he's in jail.
That's my favorite line of Wolverine.
Yeah,
in the whole-
Wolverine. It was just
that was so
Wolverine
funny.
and Jean. He wasn't there.
That's so okay.
He was
Beast,
off.
Maybe Beast was the original.
Yeah,
and he
I
was
think,
home.
I think Beast was gonna do it.
Because I think it naturally.
Could you just go to the danger room? Could the danger room do it?
take out this baby?
The big saw comes out. The lasers. No, because they can make They made a.
You're like saw and laser. You're like, that's how you get a baby out.
Listen, I'm no OBGYN, but all I know is hot towels, boiling water, saw, laser.
I mean,
because they made Magneto, right? And so, like, in theory, the Danger Room is smart enough to make a doctor.
right.
And the doctor could just go through the steps, like, it just does, like, WebMD and is like,
Any comic writers-
lay person down.
Anyone watching, comic writers, let us know if the Danger Room
Listen, us
can have a
three
birth.
dudes are going to settle
Yeah,
this.
let's solve this. Just like men have for hundreds of years, let's decide how women should have birth. Let's do that.
No, I mean, the whole thing was a little kooky.
Well, I bet it was a really funny line from Wolverine. I enjoyed the
Yeah.
line, but yeah, that's fair. Birth plan should have.
All right, I want to end with two really good questions from Obi-Wan Kenobi. I think there's a lot of great questions in the chat. Obviously, hard to get to all of them. First question: how do you think Cable will react to what Sinister forced him to do?
I think he'll feel pretty bad. How would you not feel bad?
Going at your mom / auntie. I don't know what a
What's
clone
worse,
is.
What he did or like what he said?
Both pretty cold.
Pretty cold.
But also, I mean, like it was very clear he was taking
Yeah.
over. They all knew, so maybe they'd be able to forgive eventually.
Yeah, but he's gonna feel pretty bad about
I mean, he should.
Yeah. I think so. Yeah, and he'll
Here's
have
what-
some kind of reckless.
Here's what Cable's gonna say. They're gonna be like, Cable, you were under the influence and you blasted her away and she's dead. She's dead, Evan. Cable's gonna be like, shame. Not my mom.
My mom.
Not my mom.
And that's how the season ends.
And that's yeah.
Damn shame. I gotta go back to the future. See you punks later.
All right, and then the last question here: do you think Forge and Beast could still try to use neutralizer technology on Bastion behind Storm's back?
Oh yeah, they're totally doing that.
Yeah, that's happening right now.
And if
yeah.
Storm realizes that Bastion isn't a mutant, could she be okay with using neutralizer tech on him?
He is effectively immune.
Yeah,
They even kind of said it.
I think that is gonna be that kind of like realization for the end of the series.
Yeah.
End of this season is that it's like
Is that how they beat him? And he's like, I'm a mutant.
No!
I have to kill myself. No.
They demoralize him to death.
Yeah. The second Storm left the room, they were like, we're totally putting it in
They
there.
just put it back. This circle finish.
She doesn't know what they're doing.
Tinker.
This is a different circuit board we're putting in there.
You
I
are
don't know what they're
so
doing.
right.
Yeah.
I think they kind of set up the idea of Bastion being a mutant with Xavier trying to recruit him and all that.
Yeah. And it'll be interesting to see like, Bastion's just like, all right, I'm leaving, guys.
We were talking about this yesterday that like Bastion's end game should be to get Cerebro, right?
Right.
So that he could just know all the mutant and just get into their brains. And
Yeah.
Like,
And then the comics, that's what it is.
Inside,
In
yeah.
Operation Zero Tolerance, he uses all the Xavier tech.
good thing they didn't leave the X Mansion just sitting there. Why unprotected?
Otherwise.
Well, he's
Blow
at
it
the
open.
Galapagos. It's gonna take a long time to.
They're in space, Evan.
No, Bastion.
I know that's what I mean. They're not going to get there before him.
Yeah, but he's too busy looking at those turtles.
He's like,
My turtles and my mom. And my
Yeah.
turtles and my mom.
Why didn't he move his mom? Well, I guess he needed his mom to be.
To be the bait and switch, which
Yeah.
shows how cold he is.
She's like, can I please move down to the Galapagos?
No,
No, Mom. You have to stay.
You're a trap.
You have to
you're
stay in
a trap.
Harmony, Pennsylvania. The neighborhood's really gotten bad.
I don't care, mom.
Please, there's mold in the house.
Well, if you put aside all your differences, you'll realize they're not so different than you. They're all robots. And then, actually, one surprise last question. Is Mystique going to show up at this last episode?
Please,
People
where's
asking.
Mystique?
I think everybody that we've been seeing in the opening credits that we're like, wow, it's going to be great to get him, great to see him, they're just not showing up. They're just not showing up.
They haven't given us any Mystique. And like, you gotta give us something.
I don't think they will.
She's important.
I thought Trish Tilby was going to be Mystique.
Yeah, we
yeah,
thought Val
Trish-
Cooper was gonna
Oh,
be.
Yeah,
interesting.
yeah.
Well,
They
because the way
made it-
Trish was talking to Beast, I was like, whoa.
I mean, it would be so lame if it was a late game reveal that Val Cooper was Mystique was Val
Now,
Cooper.
yeah.
Right?
To
She
what
was-
end?
To what exactly? To what end? And then also like we've said weeks on weeks that like Bastion would know. But
can't
not-
think of
Right.
anyone.
Bastion would know. Magneto would know.
I don't think Mystique shows up. I think she comes next season. I think they'd be good to have new characters
What's
next
she
season.
doing?
Yeah,
What's she doing? What does she have that's better to do right now?
Espionage.
This is a big
Crime.
She's just like looking at herself in the mirror, just practicing, just like taking different shapes like as fast as possible and being like.
Mutant and proud.
Yeah.
She's just repeating that.
yeah.
No, I think next season we'll need like some characters to be saved for next season.
Yeah.
Because I think Gambit stays dead, so maybe next season.
Yeah, that's fine.
Wow. What a great bunch of lingering questions.
Yeah, that was a lot,
I
guys.
agree.
I'm very proud of you. That was a buku.
Objectively great.
Yeah, I think no matter where the finale goes, It's been a great season 1 of a show.
Oh my
It's been
God.
great to see how many people have like fallen in love with the show, and also just like the again, like we've talked about before, like week to week. Like
I
how
love
it's
the 6
great
days
that
of
it's-
conversation.
Yeah, imagine if this all came out at once.
Boom.
Like,
Are you guys still talking about Fallout? I'm not talking about Fallout.
It's
Oh,
hard
look what
to.
happens when you binge a show,
It's hard.
internet.
You don't know where people are at.
It's not good for art. It's not good for artists.
yeah,
They're gonna do it to the bear.
Are they?
Yeah, they just announced
Oh.
season 3's dropping all at once.
I think they've been doing it though. You know, they
the
last
bear.
two
What,
seasons-
did they drop all the bear at once? Season 2? Yeah.
Did
I
they?
believe so. I believe so. Maybe I'm wrong.
You might be right, because now that I'm thinking about it, I think I watched
think
it
so.
quickly.
Yeah, I remember watching. Oh,
It's so anxiety
Maybe it was
inducing
half a
when I get
season.
through it.
well,
I feel like I watched it
They're
over a
releasing all
week.
at once.
I think
But
I watched
yeah.
it like one a day.
I think
but
you
that
have a
doesn't-
show that has built-in mystery just
And
do week
cliffhangers.
to week and cliffhangers.
Like if you have a cliffhanger and you can just go
Yeah.
next, that's not much of a cliffhanger.
Yeah.
Like if we knew how the show ended, we wouldn't be talking about it like this.
Well, and I think when you do this argument's
Yeah,
beat
bear
to
was
death,
all at
but
once.
when you do this with like these kind of shows, you're focusing so much on a plot because that's
Right.
what you're watching for the next time. You don't have time to like really think about like, oh, Beast said this or like so
Right.
much to that. What was the motivation for this character? Like you go back, you revisit, you think about it. It's like you know when like Mad Men was on the air, like
Yeah.
Breaking Bad, and you're having these like long conversations about it. That's what I miss. That's
How,
what I
like
miss.
how Jesse got out of the
Yeah.
RV was so exciting that week.
Yeah.
yeah.
Every time Stranger Things does its binge drop, and you're like, you talk to someone, you're like, where are you at?
Yeah.
'Cause I don't know what I can say.
And in
anymore.
2 weeks, like
no one's talking about it again. Yeah.
So I like this model. I hope they learn from it. And I think like if this Sixth Landing is up there with Loki for me.
Yeah, for sure, for sure. All right, that's it for us today. Make sure to subscribe to the Breakroom channel on YouTube and give us some follow on Twitch where we do videos like this live. Coy, where can the people find you?
You can hunt me down on YouTube at Coy Jandreau. I just passed 25K today. That was my goal for May, and I hit it early. Thank you. 25K feels great. So I do weekly comic book videos. I read 50 to 60 comics a week, so you don't have to. I basically do like my top 9, and I describe them all, so you can say like, oh, that sounds good, or not that, and save some money. So follow me over there on
that.
YouTube. Trying to get you guys to read some comics themselves, and I also preview that week's books. And I do movie reviews as well as breaking news, and I did a whole breakdown of the Superman suit that I'm really proud of. So check it out.
It works too. Listen to Coy. I'm going to start reading the new Dick Tracy
Yes!
run.
And it's available as
he
of
confirmed
now.
to me that it was great.
What I do on the channel.
Very excited for it.
And you can follow the Break Room at BreakroomNR on Instagram, Twitter, and Threads. We love to be on Threads and threading. Hey, we'll see you later.
The passion. We love to be.